everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
And today we're going to tell you how we felt about Hush, the brand new DC direct-to-video adaptation of a comic book that you never thought you would see in the sort of pseudo New 52 aesthetic, but we're still in this continuity for whatever reason. We've been out of the 52 continuity. I mean, I realize that in the last couple of years they weren't calling it that anymore, but in comics, we've been out of that, what, 4 years now? 3 years?
3, because it happens right before I move here.
And Superman
It feels like more because they double ship so much. Like, so many stories have happened.
That's a really good point. Superman has his trunks back and everything, and this feels so outdated now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just feels really weird.
Well, we've been saying that for like 2 years.
I know, but I feel the need to mention it again, especially if for whatever reason this is the first of these that you've watched us talk about. Because there might be some Batman fans that look at this that have never looked at any of the other you know, movies they've made, and I thought about that with Death of Superman also, because they're now adapting. I guess the first of those they did was the Teen Titans movie, Judas Contract, where they're going to comic book things and adapting them in this weird continuity.
Non-52 stuff.
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. You're right. They were adapting some 52 stuff.
Yeah. Well, and the Batman ones were weird because they were kind of adapting Morrison, but they were also kind of not adapting Morrison.
Well, that's true, so I guess there's precedent for that at the beginning.
Yeah.
But it wasn't straight up, right? Because, like, Son of Batman is not Batman and Son. Like, it's a different story.
And then the second one is Court of the Owls. It's kind of a story from that run, but also Court of the Owls. And the third one is also kind of a story from that run.
Whereas Death of Superman and Reign of the Superman is more or less that story. I mean, they mess with a lot of stuff, and it's not good. But then this is even more of a direct adaptation than that was until you get toward the end.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about.
Which we'll talk about.
Is this the one we're going to do like a... Should we do like a spoiler cutoff?
Let's do that,
because there is a spoiler in this movie. There's one spoiler.
Yeah.
Well, for people that have read the comic, there's one.
Let's handle it that way. Okay. Let's flip signs. Let's talk about the basics, and then we can do a mini spoiler.
Of the new 52 Batmans being Batman Son, or Son of Batman, Batman vs. Robin, Bad Blood. This is the best one.
I think it is too.
This is far and away the best one. I don't know if it's as good. I don't think it's as good as, for this whole continuity, it's not as good as Justice League vs. Teen Titans.
No. And that's better than this by a wide margin. It's not
in
as...
the ballpark of Justice League Dark.
I don't think so. I think Justice League Dark is quite a bit better than this, too.
Okay. Justice League Dark's got some weird stuff where, like, they, like, Hackney and, like, the Swamp Thing stuff.
Okay, that's true. But it's more consistently written than this. And the issue with this is it's difficult to compare to other things anyway, because the question you got to ask yourself, I think, is if you'd never read Hush, would you have enjoyed this as much as you did? And I think the answer is probably no for me.
I don't know.
Because I had this, like, standard of, okay, Hush is not good.
Yeah, Hush is not a good
adapting
we should also put up front, we're coming from that perspective of Hush is a bad comic book.
Hush is just not a good comic book. There's some fun to be had in it. Jim Lee's artwork is amazing.
A lot of people, it was their first Batman comic, which that's unfortunate. Go back and read it. It's not good.
When you're 13, it's great.
Yeah. It's written for a 13, along with Long Halloween. We've also recently come around Long Halloween.
For this forever. That
yeah, because you said it totally held up, and then you went back to it.
I have the reputation of... I think I did a recommend on it back in the day.
I think you did.
With Vince. Not that Vince was recommending it, but I think I think I maybe did a recommend on it.
Yeah.
And then I think you called me up and you were like, Cap, no, it's not good. Have you gone back to it?
Yeah, you need to go back to it. No, it's just not good. It doesn't hold up.
And so there's that comparison of, like, I'm looking at the source material and going, okay, I think you could have improved on that source material.
I think it's a fine first Batman comic if you're 13. Like, it's really splashy. It hits a lot of the beats. You know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
This is not...
But it's all novelty.
Yes.
The mystery doesn't work, and it doesn't stick the landing. And
it's for new Batman fans and people who have been away.
And a lot of the dialogue is awkward and strange, and...
Yeah.
It's not modern Neil Adams strange, but it gets close in places. This doesn't
work as well as, like, an entry point. Like, I could see giving Hush to someone in their teens who's never read a Batman comic and it kind of blowing their mind. Kind of. Not as much as Long Halloween. Like, I would give them Long Halloween before I give them Hush, but whatever.
Yeah.
But this is not that. You're not going to show someone this movie, and they're like, oh, that was really good. But, like, it's worth watching. Like, if somebody's watching Batman movies, like, this isn't a bad one to put on.
Yeah.
We would have had fun talking about it in Batmania.
Yeah, no, we would have. There's a lot of fun to be had. Actually.
The animation's the best it's ever looked.
I think so too.
They finally figured out how to light it. They stopped doing the thing that you always complained about, the
Vaseline on the lens. That's gone in this. That was exciting. I still don't love the faces, but I'm used to them. That's what we've had this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. I mean, the big thing is lighting, which is an odd thing to talk about in animation, but there are some gorgeous
really
moments.
good lighting on the Jim Lee Batman costume, which looks so much better. They get rid of the chin.
Yeah, and there's a silly contrivance to get that in, but then it looks good.
Yeah,
and it's fun to have it. It looks better with that Catwoman suit.
Did you feel like...
And Catwoman looks great.
Did you feel like the second he put that costume on, it just wasn't New 52 continuity anymore?
Same here. Yeah,
it was just like a Batman movie now.
Yes, to answer your question, yes, I did. It was almost like they wanted to characterize him a little bit differently than they have and make him, I don't know, Batman. And then he puts that suit on, and now it's not quite the really generic character that it was before. I don't mean that he's characterized really great. It's not like a really great Batman, but they did a better job with this than they did in trying to make Superman more Superman, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
It is far and away better than Death of Superman.
No, it's a lot better than that.
That was hard to watch. It was cringeworthy. And it's not all because that's one of my favorite things, and they didn't directly adapt it. It's not that. That movie is not fun, and both of them together. It's not fun. It's like nobody really wanted to make it. It felt as obligatory as their first attempt at it back in 07 or whenever it was. This felt like somebody wanted to make this. It felt like people were having fun putting this together.
What's interesting is, because when they did that Superman in the first place, Bruce Timm doesn't like that stuff. Bruce Timm's kind of talked about, all of the stuff that we grew up with, he's making the animated series stuff when that happens.
Yeah.
That's not the Batman Superman stuff he's going to go back to. I mean, he doesn't even like Superman in the first place, kind of.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So it's that was never going to be a passion project. But this feels
have no excuse. Just don't do it.
This feels like people making this. May have been people that were 15 when Hush came out and read it, and now they're working professionally and they're having fun with it and fixing Hush's biggest problem,
which we'll talk about.
Yeah, because Hush isn't a mystery in the comic. It's the worst mystery. Halloween's a bad mystery because you get to the end and you're like, what? But this isn't. But Hush isn't a mystery. There is no who is it? So
part of the reason I say that if I'd never read Hush before, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed this as much, is because I'm lukewarm feeling it.
Okay.
This is not a big bright
I might have liked it more than you.
Interesting.
I probably will never go back to this, but I will go back to this before I go back to any of the Batman movies that they've made in the
Justice League ones.
Yeah,
or
the Justice League
ones
too. I'd probably go back to this before I go back
Teen Titans and Justice League.
Yeah, but even that one's a little tainted for me because of Drew's contract.
Sure.
I'm yeah, you have a really good foundation, and you go nowhere with it.
Yeah.
Of all these New 52 ones, this might be the one I'm most likely to return to. I probably will never do that, but if I had to pick one,
I mean, I would go back to Dark first.
Yeah.
Especially because their Constantine in that is okay.
Yeah. Well, it's Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
But yeah. This isn't the best one that they've done. It's not as good as the Constantine City of Angels.
No, which is not in this continuity.
No. And I just want. What do you call it? Something bases. I just want to cover my bases. I'm not saying it's the best animated thing they've done. I'm talking about specifically the New 52, because obviously Suicide Squad Hell to Pay is also much better than this. But of the New 52 stuff,
it's excellent.
For me personally, I think Teen Titans is at the top, Justice League Teen Titans at the top, and then this and Justice League Dark are kind of around the same place.
Which is really interesting because I'm hearing a lot of people hating this movie. A lot of people really don't like it.
Is it only because of the ending?
I'm not sure. And again, here in a minute, we'll get to that. I wonder how many folks that are really disliking this don't know that material, because, and again, this is part of why I'm saying I don't know if I would have liked this at all, or very much at all.
It's also so much more fun than the previous three.
Yeah, exactly. So in comparison to those, Okay, if I watched this in a vacuum and had never seen 52 Things...
That's a different thing! We're not talking about that!
That's a different thing. But, okay, so you have... That's what's so weird about this, though, is that you have the comparison to those, because it's in that continuity, so you're already acclimated to some of the things that are annoying about that continuity. Like, I don't like a lot of the, like, forced adult stuff and some of the, like, violence for the sake of violence, and, like, when I say forced adult stuff, a lot of it is, like, language and, like, adult jokes that just don't play, that feel kind of juvenile.
But the book kind of has that. In this case.
This has it in the flavor of the rest of this continuity, though, which I've really not liked. But there is a lot of lifted dialogue from Jeff Loeb that's really bad dialogue. And I think that might have killed it for me to some degree if I wasn't already familiar with that material. But I'm like, okay, you're adapting Hush. I guess I can't begrudge you that too much. I do think that this is material that you could improve on a lot, like Red Hood improves
This improves on a little. This is not Under the Hood to Under the Red Hood. But this is, like, it's not that. I think this is an improvement over Hush. It's a tighter story.
Yeah.
It makes more sense. It doesn't have Jim Lee art. Like, that's the drawback, because it doesn't have Jim Lee artwork. But it does have some cool new villain designs. The Scarecrow design is cool.
He looks great. Clayface looks amazing.
Clayface is awesome. I would love them to do another movie and use some of those villains a little bit more.
Yeah. And there's a moodiness to this that has been lost in their Batman movies.
But there's also a joy. There's a joy to this movie that's not in their other Batman movies.
No, you're right. That it absolutely has that.
This does not compare to Under the Red Hood. This does not compare to The Dark Knight Returns. It's better than Year One.
Yeah, sure. I'd rather watch it than that. Anyway.
Are there any other Batman movies? They're over here now. Are there any other ones that
I don't have them all right now. And Batman Harley Quinn.
It's better than that?
Yeah. It's better than Killing Joke?
It's better than Gotham Knight. Like, their track record with Batman movies isn't great.
Isn't great, yeah. When we say they, we mean DC making this line, because it's a different group than was making some of the movies we're talking about.
Yeah. But even those. Yeah. But even those, like, they don't have a great track record.
I think... I said this before we started recording. I think some of the voices I've not liked in the past are giving better performances.
It might just be they're better directed, or they've just finally gotten comfortable with the roles.
I've never liked this Batman. I don't think it's that I've just gotten used to and
he never took me out of it
what he sounds like. No, I didn't have that. I thought it was fine.
Even the bad Jeff Loeb lines, he delivered fine.
What did you think of this Catwoman?
I like her. There are scenes where she is off and she's written to...
I guess I meant the voice. But,
okay.
But yeah.
Well, but I'm not sure how much it's her and how much it's the writing. I think it's more the writing, but there are scenes where her dialogue is really weird and feels... I don't know how to explain it. Like, it almost... It feels like adult comedy cartoon writing.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the jokes, I just mean... I mean, I do mean the jokes, but I don't mean they're like adult jokes. Just like, some of the motions she makes... Like, there's a point where she's drinking, like, coffee in the morning, and, like, it looks like it's from Archer. Like, it's exactly the movement, and, like, and her dialogue's just kind of weird for... I think the relationship scenes are weird.
They're weird.
She's written as a different character who's just a normal girl, who's just real sassy and just hanging out.
When they get together and she's all, like, giddy schoolgirl because she's got a new boyfriend, it's out of character.
It's really out of character. Whenever she's got the costume on, she's fine.
Yeah.
But that's not the voice actor's fault. I don't think it's her fault.
And yet, I'm not disliking them together. But when they're out of costume, it's not really working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so we flip signs. Might as well go ahead and go to spoilers. So we enjoyed this a lot more than we expected to, and more than it sounds like a lot of folks are. Like, a lot of people in the Secret Society in our Facebook group are really down on it.
Yeah, I don't know why. It fixes Hush. It makes it a mystery.
Okay,
and the reveal is fun.
Spoiler alert. Here we go.
We said spoilers. We said.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
We put down the spoiler wall.
We're quite in that. We're gonna go right into that now. So Hush is not Thomas Elliot anymore.
No, and it also, you know what else it does?
Yeah.
Everyone always said, like before 0 Year and War of Jokes, where those people were like when people were like, what's a great Riddler story?
Hush is a great
Hush?
Riddler.
It's not. Riddler's barely in it.
And and he shows up at the end.
They made it a Riddler story.
Yeah.
They made it what everyone said it is.
Yeah.
I can't complain about that. They improved upon, and like, there's nothing to Tommy Elliot.
It makes it about different things, I guess. Is maybe some people's complaint. I don't know. I've not delved really into the criticisms, but I'm sure some people who like that character and have read Heart of Hush, which is really good.
Oh, I love Heart of Hush.
And are interested in like the parallels and the mirroring of Bruce Wayne and Tommy Elliott and their backgrounds and all of that. Like, all of that is gone here. We were expecting the flashbacks, and then and they're not in the movie, and then once it's revealed that Hush is actually the Riddler, it's like, okay, yeah, you shouldn't have put those in there, because that would be too much misdirection. We'd be like, why are we learning all about this kid? Like, he doesn't matter, he's just an old friend of Bruce's.
I liked it. It was a fun twist, I thought.
Yeah. The thing is, there's some thematic stuff that ends up, I'm not sure, maybe not feeling like it's really part of the story and just misdirection, because Bruce, like, apologizes for being a bad friend, and I don't know if that really plays into the rest of the story, unless it's supposed to connect to how he's just, maybe just broadly, it's just that he's not able to have real deep relationships with people because
he's
Batman, and maybe it connects to the ending where he refuses to change, and Catwoman can't handle that, and so that's why they can't get together and all of that.
Which I love conceptually.
And you've got Dick Grayson. You got Dick Grayson talking about how, like, he's never talks about his feelings and he's unapproachable, and
I think the idea of the ending with Catwoman is the best idea, like, on paper, for why Batman and Catwoman can't be together.
It's a bad scene.
It's a bad scene. But conceptually, it's very good. So I give it props for having... And I've never seen that idea before. The idea that Batman can't be in a relationship because you have to grow and change in a relationship, and Batman doesn't grow and change.
And he doesn't change, yeah.
That's a great idea. Someone needs to take that and do it better.
Yeah.
Because they just kind of tackle it at the end. I was like, that's a really interesting idea, but it's delivered like CW dialogue.
And it shows that they get what Batman is in a way they've never proven before. So I guess I appreciate that. But she felt kind of out of nowhere at first in that scene, where like Batman doesn't want to let the Riddler die, and she cuts a rope and he falls and he dies, and Batman's like, you can't do that. I try to save everyone. It's really funny though, because he's like I was I wanted to try. It's like, well, no, you did.
She just stopped.
You mentioned that we were watching. I thought that was really funny. Like, well, you did what you wanted to do. She just was gonna have her thing too.
It's also funny, like, dealing with a thing that we often do with Catwoman. Like, we do that in Dark Knight Rises, where she's like, I'm not so fond of the no guns rule.
That's true.
And like Batman never has an issue with it. He's like, well, it's only for me.
Yeah. No, and I'm not saying that he's out of character there. He should say what he said.
Yeah. But like the scene doesn't exactly work.
I just don't like that she's so surprised by it. That was the thing I thought was dumb about that, where she's like, wait, really? Like that? Or
she needs to lead.
She needs to talk about what happened with the Joker. That's part of the problem in that scene, is that Batman went so far, and that scene doesn't play at all.
No,
that doesn't work.
No, that scene doesn't work because we don't have the internal monologue. He's not being like,
he almost
down,
strangles
broken,
the Joker
like,
to
crazy.
death because the Joker seems to have killed Thomas Elliot.
Yeah. No, it comes out of nowhere. I guess that's the only motivation, is that's his friend.
Yeah, because that, and also that's a character, and I guess that's why they introduced him so early. See, initially I hated that introduction. I have a problem with it now because Tommy Elliott is not Hush, so it doesn't matter. But like, he's introduced at a party at the very beginning, and he's just a red herring, and we don't get to spend enough time with him to get a sense of why they were close.
Yeah.
Because they don't do the flashbacks, but then they can't do the flashbacks, because if they do, then we'll cry foul at the end, being like, why did we learn all this stuff about this guy? Okay, but if we knew some stuff about him, then we would appreciate why Bruce reacted that way.
Yep. I would just cut that Joker scene, which doesn't work in the comic either. But it works better than
But the only thing it does for this story, which is a different story than Hush by the end of the day, the only thing it does is it informs the ending. Where he almost went that far, and then even with every horrible thing Riddler has done to him personally, he doesn't even flinch in trying to save him.
Needs to bring
so I think that is what's interesting, is that is kind of a character arc in a story that is about how Batman doesn't change. You gotta give it that. I mean,
Catwoman should have brought that up,
yeah.
But she also needs to lead with, like, he almost killed, like you're still playing by the rule when he almost killed me. It takes too long to get to, but he almost killed me.
Yeah.
Because she just keeps saying, like, you're insane, and, like, it just doesn't work.
No, that was the big thing. I was like, wait. It was like she had an epiphany. Oh my God, you're nuts, you know?
Yeah.
Again, on paper, you're right. I mean, at first I hated it, and then when we started talking about it, I was like, okay, you make a compelling argument that there is something in there. Because I like the idea that she's calling him crazy for not letting a person die who's done so many horrible personal things to him. He has to have a code, as he says, in order to not be just like them. So he's basically telling Catwoman she's just like they are.
Mm-hmm.
While she's saying he's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about that is interesting.
Yeah.
But the scene is bad.
Yeah. It needs to be longer.
Weird.
Maybe, that scene. Or just written a little bit differently. But no, it's a good idea. But I don't know why people are angry about the... But
you like the Riddler reveal.
I like Riddler reveal. Hush is a bad character. He has worked exactly once in Paul Dini's Heart of Hush. Even the House of Hush stuff is not very good.
I've never read that.
It's not very good. No, the only time he's ever worked is in Heart of Hush. If they were adapting Heart of Hush, I'd cry foul. But, like, you can take all the flashbacks in Heart of Hush and replace them in Hush, and everything about that character works better. You have to pull other stuff to make Hush, the story, work. Hush is not an interesting character, and it's not a very good story. Changing the ending to be actually a Riddler story is fine. And you also don't have your obvious red herring of Harvey Dent, because that's way too much convoluted continuity to go into. Is that, like, well, Harvey Dent got his face fixed, but he might still be crazy, and like...
And weird to introduce him that way, because I don't think he's been in this continuity.
Yeah. Well, he has now.
And you don't have Jason Todd either.
Yes. Yeah, so you don't have any of that stuff to play with. So, like, there's no one to divert the mystery to, even though it doesn't work in the comic, because you always know who the killer is.
Wouldn't it have been... I mean, I could have seen this ending, like, not being Tommy Elliott and going a lot of way worse directions, and I think I liked the Riddler thing by the end.
I do too. I think it's a better ending than the comic.
You know what would have been insane? I'm
not saying that this is better than the comic. It's probably on par with, like, the pros and cons of both. Like, they probably even out about the same. It's probably about as good as Hush. But I think it's a better ending.
What I would have expected, now that I'm thinking about it, from this team is Shiva.
Would have actually been the bad person?
Yeah, because they introduce her, she's in one scene, and then we never see her again. I would think this team would at the end of it have Hush pull his mask. Oh, it's a girl, it's Shiva, and like this is way better than what I would have expected this team to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and it works within the piece.
Yeah,
it's not just change for change's sake. Like, yeah, I think everything about it works.
So
not the movie, but the reveal.
Yeah, Riddler has been a lot more popular lately. We've taken him more seriously. He's gotten some good stories in comics. Like we've been working.
He's gotten two very good stories.
We've been working overtime lately in from 52 into Rebirth to make Riddler the A-list character.
0 Year and War Jokes and Riddles are both
excellent
stories.
And you won't get 0 Year now because we did this.
Yes.
Because while we were watching, you were like, why don't they just adapt 0 Year?
Yeah, why haven't they just adapted 0 Year or Death of the Family?
Your big bad.
You can do Death of the Family and Endgame as one movie. Can't call it Endgame though.
I think it's kind of it's kind of a fun reveal. It's kind of a satisfying reveal because Riddler has been really popular lately, but we didn't sell the movie on it, so I would think some folks would get excited about it, where it's like, oh, cool, it's the Riddler. And I like that it's about his reputation and how people don't take him seriously.
Yeah,
and
it's still kind of about the things that the comic was about with the Riddler reveal.
Yeah, like I like that they don't make him 0 Year Riddler. He's not suddenly like... He's a super genius, I guess, in the sense that he's able to orchestrate all this, but none of it feels like anything beyond the Riddler.
Well, and they have the excuse that, like, the Lazarus Pit, like, made him stronger and smarter.
I don't like that it made him smarter, or at least I don't understand that. I've never seen the Lazarus Pit used that way, or at least I didn't think it was ever.
Well, but like, it was his brain that was being healed, so like, maybe
okay,
he had like an inoperable brain tumor.
Whatever.
But also, I love that they basically tell you the flashback scene gives you everything, kind of. And I still didn't see it coming because I was still expecting it to be Tommy Elliott. Because they give you that the big stitches here.
Yeah.
And I was like, if he doesn't have that now, I guess it healed. And then like he's Clayface. And even then, I didn't put together. And then he takes the bandages off and he's got the big thing. And I was like, oh.
And it's Clayface pretending to be a Riddler who's like really incompetent.
Yeah,
and,
which is really fun.
Like, doesn't know what he's doing, and so like we bought that. We thought he was, because you were like, well, that's a fun take on the Riddler, and it's like, oh no, he's like really angry that people don't take him seriously, and he actually kind of is the character that Clayface was pretending he was. He's just in denial about it, and he's just like he's so he's so ticked off and like revengey that he's scarier, but he's still like I love that whole speech Batman has about how he does like 5th grade riddles. I thought that was great.
But he doesn't have the line from the book that I like, where he tells the Riddler the riddle / joke, because what is the difference between riddles and jokes?
Yes, right.
The what time is it when an elephant sits on your fence? And he's like, time to get to your fence. Everyone knows the answer to that one. Everyone's like, yeah, riddles aren't fun when everyone knows the answer. Like, that's not there.
Yeah, it could have been.
But I guess the threat of him revealing his identity to people isn't there because he dies at the end. Well, I guess Batman didn't know he was going to die at the end, but...
Yeah, that's true.
It's a fun romp.
Yeah, it's just a big dumb Batman story.
Yeah, it's a big dumb Batman story. But I like the comic, which is trying to be more than that.
It's a little pretentious, and the movie's not that way. And I was very surprised by that. It was like the folks that made this movie got why people liked the book, not why the book thought it was good.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing I appreciate about a thing like this, and I'm going to compare it to another recent Batman movie to say that sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. In theory, I like the idea of adapting the material more or less straight, but having the big mystery be different so that we can all be surprised by it. I think sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. The argument against that is people that don't read comics will watch this movie and will never get the reveal from the original book, so it's not delivering that same experience to them. And your argument is, well, it's not a great ending anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, it's not a reveal. We all know it's Tommy Elliott from basically Flashback 1.
Yeah. The reveal at the end in the comics, this will be spoiler alerts for this movie, of Gotham by Gaslight is not particularly brilliant either. And so changing that, especially for those of us that are familiar with that so that we can enjoy an adaptation but have a new experience, is kind of nice. It's like that thing McFarlane always used to talk about how like you don't, like, why would I tell the same story like in every adaptation I do? Like, let's change it up some. Like I'm cool with that logic in theory. It's just that with Gotham by Gaslight, it kind of didn't. The big reveal at the end of that, where like Gordon's the bad guy, didn't really work. I didn't really buy it. I didn't really track with the rest of it, and it just felt like kind of a gimmick. This doesn't have that. I think it works.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I think it makes sense with the rest of the story.
Yeah, because the Gordon thing did not track. Where you're like, wait, but what? Like, it didn't make sense by the end of it. You're like, that's a fun reveal, but like, it doesn't track.
The difference is that felt retroactive. That felt like
somebody got to the end of the script and made it Gordon and was like, that's a fun idea.
Decided to make it Gordon, didn't rewrite the rest of the script to match. This is sort of like some of the Bane stuff.
They knew what they were doing in the beginning.
This doesn't have that. This feels like it's when you go back to it, that Riddler was the bad guy all along. I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
It's fun.
And I kind of expected to like be looking at my watch the whole time, and we really enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't great or nothing, but like, it was good. It's not one of their best animated films, but it's on the upper echelon of at least the New 52 ones.
The New 52 ones, yeah.
It's their best Batman one.
They didn't have Crypto the Superdog.
It's better than all the Justice Leagues. No, and they didn't have Ace the Bat Hound. That's a different dog.
That's true.
It's Titus. I don't know who that is.
He must be some Titans thing that I've never heard of.
Yeah. I don't know. His
name is Titus.
Damian also has like a monster friend or something.
Okay.
Because I found that I was like, who's this monster guy? And people are like, oh, he hangs out with Damian. I'm like, when did that happen?
Damian is in one scene and it's kind of fun. And he has a couple of great lines.
And he was in the trailer, and I was like, oh, okay. We're just doing Damian because we don't have Tim. No, we use Nightwing instead of Tim, and he mostly works. He disappears at the end, but he mostly works.
I liked Nightwing in this.
Yeah, he's fun.
I was a little surprised that
I like it when Nightwing is Batman's friend.
Yeah. And where there's a real contrast between them.
But like, you believe that they get along and like each other?
Yeah.
No, and like hang out?
There's some banter.
Because sometimes we write Nightwing like he's Spider-Man, and Batman would have no time for Spider-Man.
That's true. No, you're right. They didn't go too far.
Batman would hate Peter Parker.
They didn't go too far in how positive he was either.
No, he's just more upbeat. And like he makes jokes a little bit.
I really expected this to be really League of Assassins centered because that's where we start all this Batman stuff in this 52 continuity. And I thought maybe that was the reason they were doing Hush, where it was like, okay, that's a thing they can pretty easily adapt in this continuity because they've done so much stuff with League of Assassins. I don't remember where we last left Talia, so I'm assuming she's not here because they wrote her out in such a way where it would be hard to bring her back.
Well, there's so much baggage if you used her. We don't get really shirtless Batman race sword fight, which is disappointing.
And that's a very iconic moment in that book.
Just because it's throwing back to an actual iconic moment from Batman history.
Yeah, that's all it is.
But it's also the first thing I would have cut. Like, if I was adapting this, I would cut that, and I would cut the Superman stuff. We didn't cut the Superman stuff, but...
Yeah, it doesn't take up any more time in this than it did in
that Lex Luthor scene needed to go, though. That didn't need to be.
Well, I hate this Lex Luthor. He's awful. He's got the worst voice. He's the only member of the voice cast who I didn't think improved. Like I said, I was a lot happier with Batman in this.
I like Rainn Wilson. He's miscast.
Yeah, that's all. It's just not the right guy for it, and they have a really
what's the wrong take because he's written a specific way.
That's what I'm saying. They have a very bizarre take on Lex Luthor.
But yeah, it's fun.
But anyway, yeah,
if like Hush isn't your favorite villain, you should enjoy this to some degree.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah.
We're coming at this, as we said, as somewhat dismissive of Hush as a thing. So, like, we weren't looking forward to a Hush adaptation.
I'm glad you loved it when you were 13. Look at it again. Like, yeah, it's not good.
It's not good. But I can enjoy the romp of it.
Yeah.
You know?
This adapts the essence of Hush.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, anyway, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Let us know.
That's my new perfume, Essence of Hush.
It comes in wrapped in bandages.
Well, yeah, how else would you get it on?
You have to unwrap a little bit of it every time you want to
spray it. I assumed you wrap it on and it puts the scent on you and you
unwrap it? Wow, that's elaborate. Wow. That's crazy. That's got to be expensive.
Well, there's a reason it's $250 a bottle.
Yeah, I was going to say.
A box? I don't know how that would come in. I don't know what that would come in.
Yeah, I would think that wouldn't be in a bottle.
Yeah.
You spray out the...
You have to buy the bandages separately, but it will not work if you just spray it on yourself.
Right. You can't even smell it. It only smells on bandages.
Yep.
That is elaborate and bizarre. Anyway, leave us a comment and let us know what you thought of this movie, if you saw it, and if you agree with us, or if you really despised it, or somewhere in between.
I'm kind of interested to know the comments. Why?
I am too, yeah.
Is it just the ending? Like, what's to hate about... Like, if you liked the other New 52 Batmans, what is it about this one that's... Is it that it's having fun?
Well, the two big things I'm hearing are either like oh god, it's awful, it's a bad adaptation, and I'm assuming they're talking about the ending, or I'm hearing it's not any, it's bad, but all of these have been bad, and so
I don't think it's bad. I think it's fine. This is the first this continues the track. The next one might be genuinely good. Because this continues the track record where each Batman movie was a little bit better than the last one.
Yeah.
So this one is better than the other three. But Bad Blood was a little bit better than Batman vs. Robin. Batman vs. Robin was quite a bit better than Son of Batman, but they were all bad. This one's a little bit better.
This is a position I don't think ever been in.
We're building.
Where we're trying to take up for ourselves for liking one of these at all, because usually we come down on these pretty hard.
I'm just confused why people didn't like it.
And what I want to say to folks that really didn't like this is that our standard is so low that it's okay, they seemed to enjoy making it, and so it was more fun for us to watch. I mean, that's it.
They haven't seemed to have had that in quite a while.
It was fun, and I got to be surprised by the ending. And I just don't have any
emotional
investment
ending.
In Hush as a villain.
It's a better ending.
I also love Riddler.
Yeah.
I mean, that helps it for me.
I don't. I like Riddler well enough, but he's not my favorite Batman villain or anything. It's a better ending. The only reason to be angry is because it's not the same, and but it's better.
I also like the idea, and let me say this real quick too, I also like the idea that Riddler, in trying to prove that he's an A-list villain, controls all the villains. It's a cooler reason to have that plot, and I also like the idea that the Riddler pretends to be some other brand new villain because you'd never guess it's someone you know, if you're Batman.
The thing that we don't address that I think would be funny is that they value Riddler so little that they wouldn't have worked for him, but they will work for a random new guy that just showed up.
Well, he
seems cool.
Yeah, he seems real intimidating and scary, and I don't know what he's going to do if I say no, so... What, but how many of them just worked for him, and how many of them were actually controlled by him? Or was it just Poison Ivy controlling?
Poison Ivy, Bane, and Harley.
Yeah.
I think well, no, Harley was forced to work for him.
Okay. That's kind of nice too, that like everybody had like different relationships.
Yeah, I don't know what
I don't know how they got. I don't know what was in it for. What was in it for Clayface?
He was controlling him, because that's why Batman slits his throat. He's got the bomb in him.
Oh, that's right.
He was controlling him.
Okay.
And he's like, finally, I'm in control again.
I watch movies with Eric so that Eric can explain the plot,
but
like what's actually happening in the movie.
Yeah, it's fun.
So I appreciate it. Thanks, Eric. Now I know what happens in the movie.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for watching, folks. We'll see you again down the road for another How We Felt About. Lots more content here on Geekvolution. I am Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
Later, folks.